Hola, buenos dias. In this video, we will be looking at something that I call the conditional perfect sentences. If you've been in my class, you in the past have learned conditional sentences, and these were the things when you said something like, "If I went to the store, I would buy milk," or "If I took French, I would fail." So we're putting these two things together: some form of the past and some form of the conditional, and just making it into one long, complicated sentence. We're going to make it a little bit more complicated now by throwing something else into the mix. And what we're going to be putting in there is the verb haber. The verb haber, again, when used for what we're going to be doing now, it's an auxiliary verb, and it means to have, like to have done something. So we're going to have to first put it in the past perfect subjunctive. I think some people call it, oh no, never mind. Okay, so the past perfect subjunctive. Just to remind you of the conjugation of that for the haber part is hubiera, hubieras, hubiera, hubiéramos, hubierais, and hubieron. And then you're going to add something after it. You're going to add the past participle after it, like hablado, comido, vivido, vuelto, hecho, visto, all those past participles. So if you've forgotten those, go back and here's a link to it. Go back to it and watch those because you're going to need to know those in order to do this. And then we're going to use those in combination with the conditional perfect. The conditional perfect, if you remember just the conditional, that is basically the would of Spanish. Like I would do this or I would do that. They would go to the store. We would play basketball. So, but instead of saying just we would do this, we're going to say we would have done this. So to do that, again, you need the verb haber in the conditional. And that would look like is habría, habrías, habría, habríamos, habríais, habrían. And then again, just like the past perfect subjunctive, where you're going to put the past participle after it, like hablado, comido, vivido, vuelto, all those ones, you're going to do the same thing here with the conditional perfect. So what I'm going to do, if this might not be making any sense to you right now because I haven't shown you anything yet, which is totally fine. I'm going to give you right now 4 questions in Spanish with these conditional perfect sentences, along with the translation of those questions, and then I'll also give you the answer as well that I came up with. And then after that, I'm going to give you 2 sentences in English that I want you to translate for me into these conditional perfect sentences. And I'm also going to give you 2 questions for which I want you to give me an answer to see if you can get it. So here we go. I'll put them on the screen for you so you can see them along with the translation, but I'll read them to you just so you can have the pronunciation for them. Okay, so la pregunta 1 es ¿qué habrías hecho si hubieras ganado la lotería? What would you have done if you had won the lottery? Now, before we answer the question, what I want you to keep in mind is that if you ever have to answer the question, or your teacher says answer it with a complete sentence, meaning you have to have the if in the answer, or maybe your teacher gives you a really long sentence missing the hubiera and the habría and everything like that, keep in mind that the if is going to go with the past perfect subjunctive. That's the hubiera one, the had done something. So, ¿qué habrías hecho? So what would I have done if I won the lottery? Yo habría comprado un carro. So I would have bought a car. Now, if I wanted to, I could make it a longer sentence and say, si yo hubiera ganado la lotería, yo habría comprado un carro. So if I had won the lottery, I would have bought a car. El número 2. Si John McCain hubiera sido el presidente en el año 2010, habríamos continuado la guerra contra el terrorismo? Long question, kind of loaded too, but if McCain had been the president in 2010, would we have continued the war on terror? So really just an opinion. Well, I'll give you mine, I guess. So, si John McCain hubiera sido el presidente en el año 2010, probablemente sí habríamos continuado la guerra, sí. El número 3, ¿qué habrías pedido si hubieras ido a un restaurante italiano anoche? So what would you have ordered if you had gone to an Italian restaurant last night? Para mí, si yo hubiera ido, yo habría pedido una pizza. Y el 4, si tu amigo hubiera jugado un deporte ayer, ¿qué habría jugado? If your friend had played a sport yesterday, what would he have played? Bueno, si mi amigo hubiera jugado un deporte, él habría jugado al tenis. Okay, so those are my questions and example answers, all with the English there next to them, so hopefully this is kind of making sense to you. What I'm going to do for you now, on the screen, I'm going to give you 2 sentences, translate those into Spanish for me, and then I'm going to give you 2 questions in Spanish, and then I want you to answer them in Spanish for me, and then I'll come back and I'll give you mine. So I'm going to put those on the screen right now. pause the video, see what you can do, and then hit play. So I'm going to basically start going over them right now. So the first one, if I had bought a car, I would have bought a Ferrari. So if I had bought, would be si yo hubiera comprado un carro, yo habría comprado un Ferrari. Let's see. They would have played music if they had found their instruments. Okay. Ellos habrían tocado la música si hubieran encontrado sus instrumentos. La pregunta, ¿qué habrías hecho si hubieras encontrado $1000 en el suelo de la escuela? So what would you have done if you had found $1,000 on the floor at school? I'll give you two answers just because, maybe you're an honest person, maybe you're a dishonest person, don't know. Para mí, probablemente yo habría devuelto el dinero a la oficina. So I would have returned the money to the office. Maybe you're the other person. Yo habría ido de compras. I would have gone shopping. Y finalmente, si tu maestro te hubiera dado una F en la clase de ciencias, ¿habrías llorado? So if your teacher had given you an F in science, would you have cried? I guess two possible answers here. Sí, habría llorado. Oh, no habría llorado. And if you want to make your answers long, like if my teacher had done this, it'd be si mi maestro me hubiera dado una F, yo sí habría llorado. That's pretty much it for the video, but I want to remind you of one thing. If you have any pronouns with these perfect tenses, you're going to put them in front of the hubiera or the habría. You can't attach it to anything, and you can't put it in the middle either. Hopefully this makes sense. If you're in one of my classes, if it still doesn't make any sense, you definitely want to come talk to me. If you have any questions, let me know, and I can try and clarify the problems that you're having. All right, thanks.